Welcome back to Roundtail Restoration, everybody. My name is Chris Fisher. Next to me here, I've got a 1964 Triumph Spitfire that I recently acquired. Starting to do a slow tear down of her, cataloging parts, seeing what needs to be fixed. Thanks for watching. All right, continuing tear down of the car here. I'm going to pull the door cards off. Obviously, got to get the window crank and the door actuator and all the pull handle and all that stuff off, just to kind of see what's behind it. I don't know if, obviously this is probably an original car there. You can see the wood backing. See if the plastic is still in there or not. That'd be interesting. And we're just going to go ahead and do both of those and take a look at that. And then I think we're going to move on to pulling the dash and the gauges and all that kind of stuff out, since that's some high dollar stuff there. I don't want to break that. Get that out of the way early. All right, so here's a point where people will get stuff wrong sometimes. This is definitely original door cards here, especially looking at the quality of the wood that's left. But you can see how that spring is. So the small end of the spring goes towards the door, and the fat end of the spring comes out towards the door card. So just a little tidbit of knowledge there. It looks like the plastic is still in the door too. You can just barely see it down there inside the triangle. So that's exciting. So the door cards are held in with just those normal spring clips, just like we had on the Spitfire too, except it's got the door pockets, and you've got two little screws. You had one here and one here that I've already removed. So you got to pull those out. Those aren't sprung clip, but that's into the door, so don't get gronking on the door and break those screws or break your door card if you're trying to save it or something like that. All right, so next up we're going to pull the dash off just to get the gauges out, get that protected like I had mentioned, and get the wood out of here and kind of see what's behind it. I wouldn't mind transitioning back to the original metal dash. I don't know if this car had that originally or not, but I kind of like the looks of that white, but we'll see. So we'll get all the gauges out and go from there. All right, so finally got the door card off. You can see how rusty this thing here that was hanging up on me. Based on the fact that the inside of the door is black, I don't think it's original door. I won't know for certain until I get the other side of it painted or stripped down to bare metal. I did find the original waste seal, this piece in here. So that guy was sitting in there, so that's a 70-year-old piece of stuff, 60-year-old. Little felt piece here to prevent and just allow no squeaking and rattling and stuff like that. But the plastic is still there, but it kind of looks all messed up. So I'm not sure that that's correct, but it's there. So that one's off. Still got a problem on the other side with the window crank being rusted on, just like this side was. So we'll get this cleaned up, get all the little clippies out of here, and see what it looks like after that. Got the other door card off. This one appears to be original. I'm thinking just because of the difference in the color here. So that's cool. Still has the plastic in it, though it's pretty much destroyed. The window doesn't really crank. Obviously, you know, everything's going to have to get refurbished and taken apart and all that kind of stuff, as you would suspect. But go ahead and get the clips out. You can see the nastiness of the wood and everything. Try to get stuff cleaned up here. This is the one, this was the bottom spring for the window crank. That's all broken and shattered, so obviously the car has seen some better days with regards to the water. Done messing with this door for now. We're going to leave all the hardware in it and everything for now. But it looks good, even in the inside here, very minor rust down in there, just all surface stuff. So the drains were open for the door, so anything that got in there appears to have drained out. Same thing on the other side there, was a clear channel underneath. Kind of get ahead of myself with the dashboard here and didn't really document very well. Got all the gauges out. All that's good to go. They're all going to be bagged here in a second. This is the dash here, and this is mahogany. It appears to be definitely not original. It's got a little bit of a warp to it, and it's cracking and swollen and stuff like that. So I don't really intend to reuse this. I would like to go back to the white dash. This isn't the white dash is not underneath yet. That has to come off, so that's obviously long gone if that's what this car had. But that's what I would like to go back to. But you can see the heater box in there, and really that was about it. Some sketchy electrical stuff. This came off the ammeter here with an inline fuse. I'm not sure if this was original at some point and maybe the fuse caught on fire. I have to look and see if there's a fuse in the ammeter or circuit anywhere. The ashtray up there. The other thing that's kind of interesting is this is a hazard signal here. And originally on these cars did not have hazard signals as best as I could tell. So somebody put this in, and this is where the dimmer goes for the dashboard lights. So I haven't traced back to see how this is electrically set up yet, but I'll something I would want to go back to dimmer lights, but who knows, maybe I'll keep the flashers on there. but I think this is an upgrade that you can do. I think you can buy a kit for that. I'm not positive, but that's what I understand. So who knows? Maybe it'll be worth keeping. Remove the boot lid, obviously. So I got some fiberglass repair there, and this hole in the support. Not quite sure why that hole is there, but I got something similar. I think it looks like somebody missed the drill, to tell you the truth. And obviously a fiberglass repair there as well. I'll get all these letters off. I'll get everything off of here. This is definitely not beyond repair by any means. Might not be real easy. This piece would probably have to come out here just to make that repair behind that easier. So you're going to lose, you know, you would have to add this lip to be able to roll and everything. So definitely would be complicated, but I don't think it's impossible. I also have a fiberglass repair under here. You can see this hole here, that little indentation. I don't know what that is. But I got the same thing on the other side. I'm not sure if they just drilled through the body metal and then, I don't know. But the hinges came off with no problem. These hinges are handed. You have a left hand and a right hand hinge. They're marked. The bolts here aren't original, but these appear to be. And they're studs in there. I don't remember Dorothy's being like that on the Spitfire, that they were removable, but that's kind of convenient because you can just send that whole thing in to get it re-chromed if you want, but they're definitely handed. And then here, this is a captive nut, so I turn this and it just sits there and spins. So this appears to be stripped out in some way. I'm not quite sure if I'm not doing something right or what, but I can't get that thing out. And yeah, so I get the letters and the Triumph symbol on the handle, like I said, off of there, and then continue on with that. Added the boot here, so I've already taken the handle off and simply, where is it? There it is. All you do is the handle simply pushes all the way through, and then this little square part here interacts with that square part there, and it allows you to turn it. And then this locking mechanism is held on by 2 screws, but on the back of those screws are both 2 flat washers and a lock washer, so you got to watch that. You got to use a wrench. A little easier to break it away with the wrench, and then faster to unscrew it. Now this one's starting to get tight. All right, so again, stuff starts to get tight. I'm going to stop, put some PB Blaster on it, get that loosened up. Now we're going to try to get this silicone off. I got a razor blade here. This is not uncommon to see this. This was same on Dorothy, where they use the silicone to try to prevent the water intrusion. All right, TR4 baby. So yeah, that's what it was. Just a piece of fiberglass under there. Pressed on that little hole and it popped right through. I'm pretty sure these only have 1 hole on the body itself, not 2. So I'm sure if I do the same thing on this side, yep, another piece of fiberglass. So for whatever reason, they decided to use fiberglass there. So I've got some concerns down here. I don't know if this is metal or Bondo in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paint stripping reel real quick just for a little bit and go ahead and just see what I can find under some of these spots and see if I've got a bunch of Bondo here or if things are okay. All right, let's see what it looks like in here. Yeah, that's all metal. That's good. All metal there. Got some rust bubbling. All right, that corner's a little ugly, but it's metal. We'll move down into this lip in here and see what comes up. Yep, that's all metal, so that's good. I'll show you real quick. A little deja vu for me here because this is almost the same exact look as Dorothy was, where you had the whatever paint that the previous owner put on, and then your red, and then your white primer, and then your base metal. It looks like there's a red epoxy maybe underneath the white. So maybe there was red oxide epoxy, and then white primer, and then then red paint. So, but that's good. That's reassuring that that's not all plastic in there, and I don't think this is all plastic in here. I'm going to touch down in here a little bit, this spot right here, and then I didn't take the bumper off. I'm not going to do that until I get the bumper off, but I'll start probing down in here and see what that looks like. All right, well in here we got Bondo, so I imagine whenever the car got hit, this didn't really get repaired at all. It's going to be painful to get to also to try to repair it, but that's a little piece of metal right here, but then this got buckled in here pretty good, it looks like. Yeah, well there is solid metal under there, it's just they didn't knock it out. All right, same thing down here at this seam, that's all full of Bondo, probably all the way down here. Yep, so all Bondo down in here, but it's not, the metal's not destroyed, it doesn't look like. So that's good. I assume there's going to be Bondo all along the rear valance here. This is all Bondo here, but just some metal working in there that needs to get done, obviously. All right, so not, definitely not horrible. I was more concerned that that would be, with Dorothy, with the Spitfire, you know, I went to Bondo, and then underneath Bondo was nothing. There was no metal underneath of it, so at least that's a good sign. But I think that's about all I'm going to look at. I want to go over to the passenger side door there and take a layer of paint off and see if I can find black underneath. All right, just a random spot. Nope, it goes straight to red. No black. It's interesting. All right, so that's the question of the day. Why is the inside of the door black as compared to the outside, which is red? And the other side looks all red as well, but the other side is red on the inside. I don't know, there's no black paint, but this white, like almost a cream white, that's a grayish color. That's definitely primer that's right underneath of whatever this red is. So the door had been repainted, which I know the whole car has been repainted, but I'm not seeing that same setup when I skimmed the stuff around the boot. I didn't see this light gray. But anyway, there's still black on the inside, but I'm not seeing black on the outside. One other thing, when we took these snap covers off on this side, they were screwed in, but on the other side they're pop riveted in. And I know, I'm almost positive on the Spitfire they were screwed in, not pop riveted. But around the back they were pop riveted, which was pain in the rear because I ended up bending stuff. But anyway, so something, this door's got history here somehow. Don't know what it is. You can see here the battery tray, there's all sorts of Bondo on that. Looks like there's even some window screen repair underneath of that. But looking at it from the inside, it doesn't appear that it's that big of a hole. So maybe there's Bondo out of caution here. I'm not real sure, but I'm going to try to peel it off, see what I see. Definitely crusty under there. Oh yeah, that's a pretty big hole. Let me get this cleaned up, I'll give you a better look. So not surprising, obviously the battery trays are always an area of concern. Dorothy's was gone, maybe not any worse or better than this. This one's a little more difficult to repair. The motor's definitely going to have to be coming out here because this whole piece kind of goes and it looks like it flanges down. This concerns me because I don't know what that piece is there behind here. So the firewall shot here, so this will have to come off. This seam up here, it looks like that's really, really bad also. So I'm going to have to, looks like this is a separate piece running up here. That hole, yeah, so it looks like that goes all the way back over into there, so that'll have to be attended to. So I don't know how many layers of metal I got there. Looks like at least 2 at each seam. So they do make repair patches or kits for these. They look really big though compared to how much damage I've got here, but they're like $200, so I don't know if that's going to be something worth it or make my own or or what. But so not horrible, but definitely motor. Heck, the motor comes out and you can just stand in there and do the repair right there. Probably wouldn't be too bad at all. So unfortunately, it appears as if I have 2 passenger seats. So you can see that they're not symmetrical about themselves. That kicks out to the right there. Look at this seat, that kind of kicks out to the right as well. Not quite as obvious, but I'm pretty sure that's what I've got here. So that kind of sucks because of course the driver's seats I'm sure are harder to come by, and I don't have one. So I'm going to have to. If anybody has a driver's seat frame that they are willing to part with, or know of any resources, I already asked on my favorite forum because I had an inkling that this might be true, but obviously I need to deal with that now. So that's kind of a bummer because I know the seats for at least the Spitfire are nearly are like hen's teeth, as the saying goes. All right, folks, that's all I got. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Well, continuing to do the investigation, still not really finding anything earth-shattering or surprising that's making me doubt the purchase still. Obviously some damage in the back there that will come through as I get all the Bondo off and figure out what's going on back there. The 2 passenger side seats is kind of a bummer because that's there's going to be some difficulty in finding that kind of stuff. So if you know anybody, give me a shout. Otherwise, that's all I got. Have a good rest of your day. Cheers.